Hey guys, for this week of Joe's Super Awesome Podcast, we're going to take you behind the scenes a little bit here at Fox Carolina and meet a buddy of mine who has had many different jobs here at WHNS during his 10-ish year career here at Fox Carolina. His name is Dal Kalsi. And if you've ever been on our website, foxcarolina.com, or on our Facebook pages, or looked at us on Twitter, or sent our page a message or a comment, you've probably very likely already have talked to him without even knowing it. We here at Fox Carolina are very excited that we reached a huge milestone. We reached 500,000 likes on our Facebook page, which is almost 500,000. I mean, that's hard to even fathom. And so Dal and the rest of the Super Awesome web team is a big reason for that. So we were able to sit down with this film-loving, web-posting, upstate native himself, Dal Kalsi. Enjoy. All right, Dal Kalsi, how are you, sir?
Good to be here, Joe. Nice to see you again after seeing you on TV for several hours this morning.
I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry you had to do that. So first of all, you have had a bunch of different jobs here at the station. We first worked together when you were a photographer.
That's right, yeah. I've kind of gone through almost every position in the newsroom except for on-camera stuff. And a few of those situations where I have done on-camera stuff as well. I started out as a photojournalist 9 years ago.
Yeah.
And then from there I went to being an associate producer, writing newscasts, writing content for the newscast, and then being a producer where I produced newscasts both in the morning and on the weekends. And then a couple of years ago I moved over to our digital side, which is encompasses our website, our social media pages, all that stuff when we started really pushing our digital side, and we've grown our Facebook page now to more than 500,000 followers. So it's catching on. People are liking it.
Yeah, man. Because I remember specifically, it must have been my first few days working here. We both went to Asheville.
Yep.
It was freezing. It might have been the coldest I've ever been. And at that time, I think we had a Facebook page for Fox Carolina, but it had like maybe 5,000 likes or whatever.
I don't even know. I don't think I even liked it at that time.
I don't think I did either. But then I remember we had a big meeting about this push for Facebook, and it's been ever since you joined the web, it's been crazy. And how has that, how big is the web for our newscast and for our news?
The web, I mean, everything is web-based now. You know, the content that we get comes from the web half of the time. Viewer tips, emailing us, sending us Facebook messages.
Yeah.
And, because we live in this age where everything's on social media, the urgency is a lot higher. We used to have hours to put together a story, to get all the information and put it out there.
Yeah.
Now, as soon as we get it in, people want to know what's happening. A lot of times we'll get 10 messages. Hey, what are all these cop cars doing on so-and-so road here in Anderson?
Right.
And we'll try to find out. We'll put it up as soon as we can. So the expectations are a lot more urgent as well from the people who consume our news, who click on our stories. So that comes with its own, set of issues as well, because a lot of times the information will change. The first information deputies will get will be that it was a male suspect who did this or that, and then later on we'll find out it was a female suspect, and there was actually somebody else who was arrested too. So things change, and I think a lot of our viewers understand that, and then there are some folks that get angry when that happens, and it's just kind of the nature of things right now. It's not fake news; it's just things change as we're finding out what happens, and so.
Yeah, now what's the push for it? I mean, of course, Facebook. How often do you tweet?
I don't tweet as often as we post on Facebook. We post on Facebook quite frequently.
Yeah. How many times do you think you post on Facebook for the station, of course?
For a day?
Yeah.
In a day? Oh, something interesting comes down, or we get an update on a story. Probably once every 10 minutes or so. We're posting on Facebook. We have our Twitter. We have our Twitter pages to automatically tweet when we write a story.
Yeah.
So that stuff continually goes out, and if there's breaking news updates or we're at a live press conference and there's important updates coming on, we will tweet to those, and score updates and big games and stuff like that. But what drives our readership is really Facebook. Yeah. So when I started, there was one person that worked on the website, and the hours were like, it was like a 9 to 5 job. Then we added a second person, so we had 2 shifts covered. Now we pretty much have 24-hour a day social media web coverage. There's only like 2 hours or so where our schedules overlap between where our nightside crew leaves and then I come in at 4 in the morning.
Yeah, so much has changed. And so what made you get into the news industry? What made you decide to
in the news industry?
Life?
Well, I started, I took an interest in, well, let's see, let me think about that for a minute.
Sure.
I guess it started, when I was a kid, I was really interested in mystery novels and movies, and then I wanted to be a writer, write novels, write screenplays, make movies, and then
I did the same thing.
Yeah, so I was like, well, what can I do that'll let me do that and still, earn a living? I was thinking about going to film school for a while, and then I was, when you research that industry, you work for 3 months, and then you might not work again for the rest of the year, and you're just always searching for a new job. So I was like, what can I do where I can, make a living continuously, and still be able to, be a storyteller and be creative, do the writing, do the visual storytelling, and so that's where I ended up. I ended up out of college. My first shop is in an actual news department. I worked in production at another TV station in town, and then my first newsroom was Wink TV in Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh wow, how's that?
Wait,
everyone came from there, right?
We had a lot of people over the years come in from Fort Myers.
And come and work here.
Come and work here, yeah. I think Jennifer Phillips is our only other remaining former Winkster who's now a Fox Carolina news employee, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so probably at least 10 of us over the years that I've been here have stopped in at Wink at some time or another, or Fort Myers at some time or another. Derek Dellinger also he wasn't at Wink, but he was at the other station down there. It was like a duopoly, 2 stations owned by the same company, and I believe he worked for them.
Yeah, so much has changed. And so what made you get into the news industry? What made you decide to
in the news industry?
Life?
Well, I started, I took an interest in, well, let's see, let me think about that for a minute.
Sure.
I guess it started, when I was a kid, I was really interested in mystery novels and movies, and then I wanted to be a writer, write novels, write screenplays, make movies, and then
I did the same thing.
Yeah, so I was like, well, what can I do that'll let me do that and still, earn a living? I was thinking about going to film school for a while, and then I was, when you research that industry, you work for 3 months, and then you might not work again for the rest of the year, and you're just always searching for a new job. So I was like, what can I do where I can, make a living continuously, and still be able to, be a storyteller and be creative, do the writing, do the visual storytelling, and so that's where I ended up. I ended up out of college. My first shop is in an actual news department. I worked in production at another TV station in town, and then my first newsroom was Wink TV in Fort Myers, Florida.
Oh wow, how's that? Everyone came from there, right?
We had a lot of people over the years come in from Fort Myers.
And come and work here.
Come and work here, yeah. I think Jennifer Phillips is our only other remaining former Winkster who's now a Fox Carolina news employee, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so probably at least 10 of us over the years that I've been here have stopped in at Wink at some time or another, or Fort Myers at some time or another. Derek Dellinger also he wasn't at Wink, but he was at the other station down there. It was like a duopoly, 2 stations owned by the same company, and I believe he worked for them.
Wow, and so you're originally from South Carolina?
Yep,
right?
Just down the road in Simpsonville. Bring in new companies, new ideas, new recreation. There's all kind of new things that are coming in, which is great.
And so you were raised, right down the road. Of course, your wonderful wife, Vanessa, and your family's amazing. And so, does she love? What does she think about the news industry?
Well, She's not always happy when
Of
when our schedules don't jive together. There's been many times over the years that
You got to relate.
we'll make plans for something, and then by the way, there's breaking news. I don't know when I'm going to be home, or there's a snowstorm in the forecast.
Yeah.
I don't know when I'm coming home, and it does take its toll. But over the years, she's realized that hey, you got to do what you got to do, and
That's what happened.
yeah, that's what happens. That's what happens.
Yeah. Man, oh man. Because this industry is just wacky. Because you try to make plans, and then breaking news happens, and you don't really have a choice. You gotta go do it. If a snowstorm happens, the school's closed.
Yeah.
But we have to work a double.
Yeah. It never fails either that 10 minutes before you're supposed to leave for the day is when that breaking news happens, and your number's up.
Yeah, man. So of course you love news. Your job is great.
Absolutely.
And what do you do on the side? I know you do some filmmaking.
I do. I started making films and actually in high school with my parents' home video camera, and I bought this cheap editing software that you had to use this device to connect like a VCR to it to ingest the video, and it was very rudimentary, very not high tech at all, but it was fun for me to play around with. And then I took some filmmaking classes in college.
Yeah. And
then so I've been doing it as a hobby now for about 10 years.
That's cool. And what do you love about filmmaking?
It's just another opportunity to tell stories. We made a feature a couple years ago that we got into some film festivals.
Yeah.
There's no deadlines. We just make a good group of folks. Me and a guy from Columbia. He's actually a DOT engineer and moonlights as an actor. Been in several TV shows and movies. He and I work together on a lot of projects. We just have fun and tell stories.
And so I just saw a movie that you just made called Bound, and it was. I know you've made horror movies before, which were scary, but this is based on a true story, right?
True story, based on a real human trafficking case. Told me by an investigator from here in the upstate who worked as a DEA special investigator at one time. And so it was a story that stuck with me for a couple of years. So I really thought, if this kind of opened up my eyes and made me start researching human trafficking in the area, or not just the area, in the United States in general, maybe it'll have that impact on others. It's a very tough film to watch. It's violent, graphic, and we don't pull any punches. It's an extreme story, but if you can just Google kind of the circumstances that you'll see in there, you'll see it kind of happens all over the country. Texas, Florida, even North Carolina and Georgia, a major Homeland Security investigation, multiple agencies that are involved in human trafficking. So it took me a minute to remember which one, but it was like the Homeland Security and ICE had a big crackdown here a couple years ago. South Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, all across the East Coast, where the circumstances if you research that investigation, I think it was Operation Dark Night. The stories are very similar to what you'll see in our film, and it's been received very well. We're in the Tryon International Film Festival in October, won Best Overall Film there.
Wow.
And then we were in Reedy Reels here in Greenville a couple of weeks ago. We were second place for Audience Choice, so we didn't get the award, but of all the films that they screened there, the audience, voted on which ones they liked best. So ours placed second.
And there's a lot of films in that film festival.
Yeah, there were a lot of films. There were 70 something in Tryon, and I believe 35 or so in Reedy Reels. So we're glad people are seeing it and responding to it in the way that we hoped. Because when we screened it in Reedy Reels, it was the first time I got to really see how the crowd responded, and there were gasps and there were tears and there were moments where people were just saying, "Oh wow, oh my." So I was kind of concerned, we might not get very good feedback from these folks, but they all were like, "Thank you for making this and for telling that story." So it was really cool.
That's amazing. What is your day like? Like, what time?
Oh,
What time do you come to work? What time do you wake up for work?
I get up for work around 3 a.m. every day.
Yeah.
Earlier some days, and there are those days when I hit the snooze button. But yeah, I'm here at 4 a.m.
How many times do you hit the snooze button in a given morning? What's your record? My record, I think this morning I hit it 10 times. I really hit it 10 times.
I try not to hit it more than once, just because I don't want to wake up my wife, because then you got a whole other problem.
Yes. Yeah. Mommy will not.
Yeah. But there are many mornings at 3 a.m. where I'm like, yeah, you question every decision you made in life. Like, what is going on here? Especially when you go out, you only get 2 hours of sleep because of whatever circumstances the night before that just come up in everyday life. But no, it's I enjoy what I do, and I enjoy interacting with the folks who we interact with on our website on a daily basis. So it's worth it.
That's good, man. And so, what do you do when you get in at 4 in the morning?
4 in the morning. Well, check Facebook messages from overnight. Make sure really what I interact with a lot of folks on Facebook that time of morning. People who are messaging us, commenting on our stuff, and writing any breaking news from overnight. If there was a robbery somewhere or a shooting that happened in the interchange hours between when the last shift left and when I got in, I'll pick that up, and there's usually always some sort of breaking news that takes a little bit of time, and really just taking information that you guys in the field send in and creating new web content, posting stuff on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter of what you guys are doing for the day, and just a long continuation of that. It's just as soon as one thing's posted or one thing's written, the next thing comes in. So that's just
that's what you
keeps
do.
me busy. Keeps me busy.
How does it make you feel that Fox Carolina has 500,000 followers? Because remember our goal like 5 years ago was to get to 60,000 or something. Remember that? We had a big meeting, and now we're at 500,000. And you're a big part of that. And how does it make you feel that you hit that number?
I mean, it's great. It's great. We get story ideas from people all over the country nowadays, and a lot of times there's not anything we can do about the stuff that they're sending us, because it's we have to be able to interact with the investigators and the parties involved, and if they're in another state or in a part of far away North Carolina or the Low Country in South Carolina, there's not a lot we can do, but we can kind of guide them in the right direction and say, well, you should reach out to this news organization here, and they might be able to do something, or just say, well, you can try, but for this particular story, there's probably not anything any news organization will be able to do. So a lot of people share videos with us now, videos that they'll see somewhere on social media and send it to us. This is news.
The Moose and Cherokee.
That was great. Anytime people see anything interesting that they get a great video of, send it to us. We'd love to share it. Send us a message on Facebook with a video attachment and say, hey, share my video of this this deer that I found in an unusual place, or this great big fish that I caught. We love to share that kind of stuff because it's positive, and our viewers really like it as well, because it's not the doom and gloom. It's not the someone got shot or someone got arrested. It's that's cool. I wish I could see that in my backyard.
Yeah. I mean, the most popular videos on YouTube of all time. We're always happy.
Cat videos, right?
Yeah, kitty cat videos, Gangnam Style,
cooking videos,
cooking videos, stuff like that. Awesome. Well, Dad, what do you think about the future of what you do? Do you see anything down the line of how social media will affect the news? And
I imagine this is the way the industry is going to keep going. Everything now, even TV. They're launching all these new streaming subscription services.
Yeah.
So everything's going web based. I don't think TV's going anywhere. But
fingers crossed.
But the way people interact and get their news is definitely changing. So
You're a big part of that, man. Awesome. Well, Dad, thank you for your time, man. I know you're busy. You have some stories to post.
Oh, probably about 6 more to write. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. Thanks.
Yep.
Yeah, I just want to thank Del Kalsi for joining us, and we're going to keep doing this. We're going to try to interview some people from behind the scenes or even on camera that you'd like for us to interview. So make sure you shoot us an email on our Facebook page or send us a comment on Twitter as well, and let us know who you want to hear from and have me interview for the next episode of Joe's Super Awesome Podcast. But we have some great interviews lined up for next week and all the following weeks until the end of time, we hope. And so I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you subscribe on iTunes. Make sure you listen to us on foxcarolina.com. And we're also now in Google Play. If you have a phone other than an Apple iPhone, which I know more and more people have, these Samsungs that are so nice and take such great pictures and everything. So if you have those phones, make sure you check us out on Google Play as well. Thank you for joining us. Take care.